Welcome to the Eyes on Texas channel.
Really, what I would do schematically, starting on the defensive side of the ball, is I would focus in on the run. I would focus in on that quarterback. I don't know if Texas is going to need a spy coming up straight up off the bat. I don't know if a quarterback is going to need to spy that dual threat quarterback as he did. What was his stat line? As he did rush for just under 100 yards against Rice. Again, that was against Rice, man, but he did carry the ball. Jefferson did 9 times for 89 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns, man, and he did scamper for his longest run of 38 yards. So that is going to be a threat. So what I would do about that, I don't know 100% if we need a spy in there to keep him in check at times. If he is going to be able to get away from Ovi on the outside edge, if Ray Thornton on the outside edge isn't going to be able to bring him down, if coming up the middle and coming on the outside struggles, we might have to spy if they are bringing the run from the quarterback. On the defensive line, with the normal interior players, defensive tackles, and edge rushers, I really love that rotation coming in. I do believe we are most definitely going to see more of Alfred Collins this week. We are going to see him in more of the rotation. We are going to see more of Lord Byron get better. So defensive line, I don't see us getting pushed around. Schematically on the defensive backs, we might have to push upon them just a little bit more. But from a passing game, from a passing schematic skill set, wide receivers, they don't have it, man. Their stat line for their wide receivers, their best wide receiver had 5 balls for 42 yards and 0 scores, and the other one had 3 receptions for 42 yards. They do have a talented wide receiver as a freshman who is in the rotation, and that's going to be Keytron Jackson. Made many videos about him. The big, physical, strong wide receiver from Royce City, Texas, is a 4-star commit. Very fast, very strong, can win the 50-50 ball. Great in the he's great in the red zone. He could create some problems. We might have to play a little more physical on him. Talking about Jackson. But from the wide receivers as a set, from the wide receivers as a whole, as a group, not much of a big threat. We do need to focus in a little bit more on the run game itself and the quarterback. See if we can tighten up his run game capabilities. The arm, he was 12 of 21, not really good from a standpoint of a thrower. Talking about Jefferson, the starting quarterback for the Arkansas Razorbacks. So from the defensive standpoint, that's kind of sort of how I would attack it. I would attack it coming up the middle and the outside edge, containing the quarterback first. If we need to come from the linebacking position, if Brockenmeyer's getting exposed a little bit from the linebacking position, might see more Benga to come in to tackle that quarterback, as he does provide just a little bit more of a force up in there, a little more Jalen Ford. Maybe bring him into the linebacking fold. But maybe that's some possibilities on offense. I think we're to keep on doing what we're doing. You know what I mean? I do believe that what we showed against the University of Louisiana, that's what we're going to do, man. It is going to be the Bijan Robinson show. If need be, if it is a tight ball game, he is going to get 20, 25 carries, touches, whatever. But it is going to be the Bijan Robinson show. We are going to see Roschon Johnson spelling him. Sark did have a 1,000-yard running back every single time as an offensive coordinator and as a head coach. So we are going to pound the rock. Our best player is who? Bijan Robinson. We still are breaking in Hudson Card. He absolutely did perform fantastic in my personal opinion, going 14 of 21 for 224 and 2 scores with 0 picks. He did look a little bit shaky in the beginning, like I discussed earlier. Did look like a little bit of a non-athlete the first couple of series, but he did come up, he did step up, and he did make primetime throws. And when it wasn't there, he threw the ball away. What a concept! But offensively, coming into the Arkansas game, I think we'll see more of the same. I think we'll focus in more on the tight ends blocking this week. improving Gunnar Helms blocking. See what's going up with Jared Wiley's blocking. See how that shoulder's doing. As far as the wide receivers, and from as the RPO and what Sark's big grand scheme is, I don't think we saw very much of his playbook. I don't think it was really needed, and it is a building scheme as far as what Coach Sark does do. So I do believe we are going to see much more of the same. Hell, I hope we see more from Jordan Whittington. I hope every single week goes like that with Jay Witt. Loved it. What do you have? 7 catches for the first time, having over 100 yards for 113 yards, and he had that late score. Absolutely amazing. Would like to see Joshua Moore come into the fold a little bit. Would love to see him. I don't know what his deal was. To be quite honest with you, he wasn't pressed up super much at the line of scrimmage. He wasn't. He just wasn't getting open. Schematically, we had movement. Every single play was so beautiful to watch. It was amazing to watch. An integrated offense with multifaceted integrated offense. It was great. We always had movement, changing in and out personnel as far as the skill position. Roschon Johnson looked fantastic as far as being a playmaker coming out of the backfield. Made that guy miss up out of his shoes, and that whoop out there in the sideline. Absolutely loved what I did see from him. But let's answer some of these questions. So as head coach and offensive defense, man, that is what I would do. Yeah, man. So if I was making millions and millions of dollars, Dre, maybe I could break it down a little bit better for you, but I think I did a good enough job there. Big defensive tackles are both going to be 6'6". He's 320 pounds. The guy backing him up is 6'4", 302, and their other defensive tackle is 285 pounds as well. But both of those guys are going to create more of a push up the middle than we saw against Lala. Definitely going to be more a formidable opponent in the trenches for the Texas Longhorns. And I'm not going to say Bijan Robinson is going to be stuffed by any means. I'm not saying that the Texas Longhorns are going to get bulldozed right up the middle by these defensive tackles, but they're not going to get quite the push that they did have against the University of Louisiana Lafayette. These guys are going to bring it a little bit more, and we did see some pressure. Hudson Card was sacked and pressured early and often in this last game. Way more often and way more early than I would like to see him. Same thing for Thompson whenever he got in the ball late and into the fourth quarter as well. As that's going to be the big difference in the game. Is our offensive line? They need to step it up a little bit more coming into this game. I do believe there might be some shuffling at one of the guard positions coming into this week. Yeah, but absolutely without a doubt, good question though. But the big difference between this week and last week is going to be that up front defense. It is going to be that front four, and it is going to be those linebackers. Bumper Poole, I believe his name is. He's an outstanding linebacker himself. I believe he got a targeting penalty this past week, so he is going to come into the game only into the second half. They do have another outstanding linebacker who does play sideline to sideline, plug up his holes and fill his position well for Rice as well, and that's going to be Mr. Catalan as well. Playing linebacker for Arkansas, but they do have quite a good defense. Their offense still remains to be wanting, in my opinion, as they did score 38 points, but 21 of those 38 points were scored in the fourth quarter. Touchdown. And man, let's talk about that touchdown that Bijan Robinson did catch from our QB1, Hudson Card, who did have an absolutely outstanding day of his own, going 14 of 21 for 224 yards. But talking about that play, whenever Bijan Robinson did have his touchdown pass, I just want to know, Bijan Robinson, he did step forward. He did take a couple of steps up, and it did appear that the play was changed. I just want to know if that play was changed by Sark on the sideline, or if that was our young redshirt freshman making his very first start that was making the call, as whenever Bijan Robinson split out in the left, whenever he flanked out in the backfield, No one came to see him. No one came out in the flat to meet the young superstar, as he was wide open and just walked in the end zone for 6 points. As Digger the kicker did in fact put on the point after attempt to put the Longhorns further on in the lead. And speaking of Hudson Card and talking about that day, as he was 14 of 21 for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Casey Thompson did come in with 2 minutes to play in the third quarter, I do believe, as he was 4 for 5 of his own, 41 yards, and he did, in fact, throw a touchdown of his own. So holla at your boy, QB1 and Casey Thompson looked absolutely fantastic. As Hudson Card, whenever he made his first couple of drives, when he was coming up, scrambling up in the pocket, climbing up, to me, he did look a bit awkward. I was looking at him, and I was looking at the way his legs were churning, the way they were pumping up and down, and it did not look like a natural athletic motion. It looked like someone who was a bit shaky, someone who was a bit janky, and who was not climbing up very well in the pocket like an athlete should, especially someone who did have over 1,100 yards receiving and during his sophomore season, playing 6A high school ball for the highest level on Texas football. So without a doubt, man, was absolutely 100% impressed on the day with Hudson Card's performance.
Thanks again for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the little gray bell so you are notified as soon as I upload new content. Keep your head in a swivel, horns always up.